Good morning, this is Troy Moldy with the Pride Group, and I'm here with Jeremy Peterson with Remax Results, and we are doing our monthly outreach for the month of July 2016, and today's topic is going to be how to navigate hudhomestore. I get a lot of questions on how this website works, so let's just start on the home screen here. To bid on a house, you're going to need to register as a bidder, and it'll take your agent information and what have you, and it takes about 10 minutes to create your account. And then once you have your account created, then you'll be able to bid. Make sure that you create that account using your information. We've had some problems with agents creating an account under their broker's information, and if it's a company that has a lot of agents, the broker doesn't know who actually got the bid, so they'll get a email sent to them and not know which one of their agents of the many put the bid in. So let's just say we're going to find a house, and we're going to be talking about Minnesota today. You would click on the state, or you can do the drop down here, or not. It's not one. There we go. So whichever way your heart desires, you can do that. So we'll just pick any property on here and probably go through a few of them. Here's one here. It looks like a new listing. So let's click on this one. This property was listed on the 26th. It gives you, some basic information here: bedroom, bath, room count, square feet, when it was built. And then when we look over here, or let's start up here, it talks about eligible bidders. So the only people that can bid on this property are owner-occupants, nonprofits, and government agencies. Bids will come in on this property through August 4th. So you can submit a bid, which is right down here. You just click on the button, and we'll look at that in a second. You just submit a bid. As long as it comes in before midnight, 11:59 on the 4th, that bid will be considered, so long as your buyer is an owner-occupant. An owner-occupant means somebody that's going to live in the property as their primary residence for the next 12 months, and you can only buy one HUD property every 24 months as an owner-occupant. Nonprofits, that doesn't mean all nonprofits, they have to register accordingly, or government agencies can also bid. So they'll receive offers through this time, and then at the end of that time, whichever bid nets the seller the highest is the offer that they would accept. They do not look at financing types, cash versus 203K. It's solely decided on net. I know we get a lot of questions on that. Your financing type matters in other types of real estate. It does not matter with the mission statement of HUD. They're solely looking at which offer nets the seller the highest. So then when we come down over here, a lot of people call me and say, does this mean August 5th that this property will switch over? If it doesn't sell and no offers are accepted, does that mean on August 5th this property will be available to investors? And the answer is no. So when we come over here and we look at this information, exclusive means eligible bidders. It has a definition, and that definition means owner-occupants, nonprofits, and government agencies. And it tells you how long this property is going to be in this exclusive status, and that exclusive status again means owner-occupants, nonprofits, and government agencies. It's going to stay in that status until the 9th. So the very first day that an investor would be able to bid on this property is going to be August 10th. If this property doesn't sell within this bid period, the bid period then goes to 24-hour bid cycles, but it stays in the eligible status of owner-occupants, nonprofits, and government agencies. It doesn't change until the 10th. It says FHA insured with escrow. That means something's going on with the property. We'll take a look at that next. And 203K, yes, it is eligible. So that's how you read this page, and we'll look at some different ones. So we're going to look at the addendums. Let's see what the disclosure has to say. Whoops. Let's go to downloads. And it says that boiler needs to be repaired, the toilets need to be replaced, or a toilet, we don't know, repair plumbing. Now, this causes a lot of confusion. People call me up and say, oh, I see these things, but there's $0, therefore there's nothing that needs to be done. That's not how this is created. What happens is a field service manager, FSM for short, goes out to this property and makes visual determinations, and with plumbing, they make a determination by they hook up a compressor and it's a pass or fail. So it's a pretty minimal report that's written. And the reason these are at 0 is not because they need no work, but because it wasn't an actual bid. The FSM is telling you something's wrong with the boiler, something's wrong with the toilet or toilets, something needs to be repaired on the plumbing. And you need to get bids for this. When we look down here and we see water cannot be activated for, did I say activated? Water cannot be activated for inspection per field service manager. It's telling you that you're not going to be able to turn the water on, and the reason you're not is something's wrong with the plumbing. So if you're using like a conventional type financing, you would need to call your lender and ask, given these circumstances and the water never being repaired or turned on prior to closing, is the type of financing that I'm bidding on with my buyer still going to work for this property? So many times people just submit a bid saying conventional financing and it has to be canceled because the buyer can't perform, and they may have already spent money on an inspection, appraisal, so not a happy buyer. So make sure that you're understanding how this works. Again, if something's wrong with the plumbing, they're not going to give you permission to activate the water, and the reason being is something's wrong, and if you turn the water on, you might flood out a house and damage it. And HUD's procedure is they're not going to allow work to be done prior to closing. You could use a 203B with escrow repair. That is different than a 203K. I've done many trainings, so I won't elaborate that on this training. But again, always come here and look at this. So we've looked at the bid timelines, we've looked at the eligible bidders, now we're looking at the repair disclosure addendum, and we see things, and we know it's at 0 because these are not bids, they're just noted as some things that you need to get bids for. So now let's go and look at, I also like looking at the property condition report. And you can go through and it talks, and it says there was some freeze damage to the boiler system, so we know that's an issue. It says electricity was on and functions, that the stove is missing, that the plumbing failed the pressure test. And anyways, you just go through and read all of this, so it gives you some basic information on what's going on with this property. So that is how you read this for this property. Now let's go back and I'll show you a couple search features. So again, we're going to click on our state, and maybe you have an investor and you only want to look at investor homes. We're going to go to investor, and this will tell you all the properties in Minnesota that an investor can buy. If you want, you can type in a county. Let's just say Dakota County. Let's see what's going on in Dakota County. So one property came up in Dakota County, and so an investor can bid on this property, and so you can do searches here by what you want. Dollar homes, I don't know if we'll see any. We probably need to go statewide. Let's see if any come up. Yeah, usually there's not a whole lot of them. They usually sell before they come available for that. Good neighbor next door, usually not a lot of these either. There's one in Grand Rapids, so this one would work for the good neighbor next door. and I've talked about that. I can go through that. I have gone through that in other trainings. You can look through my videos. Owner occupant, now we're going to get a lot because an owner occupant usually is eligible for pretty much everything except for the lottery phase, which is a short period and then extends to the owner occupant. So that is it for this week. If you guys have any questions, you can certainly reach out to Jeremy and I and let us know. Otherwise, we're going to tune out. Jeremy, do you have anything that you'd like to comment? Nope, that looks good. We'll see you guys next week.